Have you ever wondered why some Asian passports get VIP treatment while others face mountains of paperwork? What hidden factors prompt Canada to waive visas for citizens of certain nations and not for their neighbors? Citizens of these select countries don't need a visa. They don't need to wait in long lines at embassies, and they sure don't need to pay hundreds of dollars just to visit Canada. So why does Canada treat some nations like diplomatic royalty? Canada's visa exemption list just got a major update, and if your country made the cut, you're in luck. But not everyone qualifies, and the rules aren't as simple as they seem. Travel privileges often reflect complex webs of diplomacy, economics, and trust. When your passport opens doors instead of slamming them shut, it feels like holding a golden ticket in a bureaucratic chocolate factory. In 2025, 10 Asian nations saw their tickets upgraded to VIP status. These nations now require only an electronic travel authorization, ETA, for entry, sidestepping the traditional visa labyrinth. This move signals more than convenience. It underscores how each country has methodically built a reputation for low overstay rates, robust security cooperation, and economic ties that Canada values deeply. Every passport tells a story of its nation's global reputation. When immigration officers nod and stamp without hesitation, it's validation of years of mutual trust, streamlined security protocols, and reliable travel behavior. Canada's updated list isn't just a bureaucratic footnote, it's a testament to how these nations have earned their stripes on the global stage. From the technological marvels of island city-states to the diplomatic finesse of desert monarchies, these countries share one vital trait: consistently low immigration risk. Behind each ETA approval lies mountains of data, meticulous background checks, and a track record of compliance. Canada's decision-makers aren't flipping coins. They're analyzing spreadsheets of crime statistics, trade volumes, and bilateral agreements. Each change in the visa-exempt roster reflects evolving geopolitical dynamics and an ever-shifting calculus of risk versus reward. In this satirical tour of Asia's most trusted passports, no detail is too small, no overstay percentage too tiny to escape scrutiny. Throughout this journey, we'll peel back layers of rhetoric to reveal the mechanics behind global mobility. Why does an island no bigger than a city command international respect? How does a nation in political limbo secure a spot on Canada's trusted list? From economic powerhouses to cultural juggernauts, each story blends surprising facts with a healthy dose of skepticism. Strap in for an entertaining romp through passport power, where every paragraph punches with high-octane energy. Japan's travelers glide through Canadian immigration with almost smug efficiency. Japanese passports unlock more than just airports, they unlock privilege. Access to over 190 countries visa-free has turned Japanese citizens into the Michael Phelps of global travel. Always on the podium, rarely off the map. Canada's ETA requirement feels like a mere formality for these frequent flyers. Why such trust in travelers from the land of the rising sun? Low overstay rates, cutting-edge travel infrastructure, and a crime rate so negligible it might as well be a rounding error. To Canadian officials, Japanese visitors embody the epitome of low-risk, high-value tourism. South Korea stands as another powerhouse of passport prestige. More than just the birthplace of K-pop sensations and next-level smartphones, South Korea boasts an immigration record that reads like a perfect scorecard. Canadian authorities see South Korean nationals as model guests who arrive, enjoy the maple syrup, and depart on schedule. The secret sauce? A potent mix of economic stability, steadfast adherence to immigration rules, and diplomatic rapport that has been meticulously cultivated over decades. When a Canadian border agent sees a South Korean passport, they know it's not just paper, it's a stamp of reliability. Singapore may be tiny, but its passport stature is colossal. This little red dot packs a heavyweight punch in global mobility rankings, granting visa-free access to over 190 destinations, Canada included. The reasons are as precise as the city-state skyline, one of the lowest corruption indices on the planet, an ultra-efficient travel system, and an immigration record so spotless it could double as a mirror. Singaporeans breeze past Canada's visa desk armed with only an ETA. But behind that simplicity lies decades of strategic diplomacy and unwavering compliance. This is not luck. It's discipline, engineered into the national DNA. Israel's inclusion on the list might raise eyebrows for those who equate its passport with political turmoil. Yet Canada and Israel share deep security cooperation and robust trade ties that transcend headline noise. Israeli travelers have proven themselves dependable guests, rarely overstaying their welcome and consistently abiding by entry conditions. This isn't a case of geopolitics trumping caution. Instead, it's data triumphing over assumption. The Israeli passport, with its access to more than 160 countries, now opens Canadian doors with the courtesy of an ETA. For Canadian authorities, this is pragmatic trust, not blind faith. Taiwan's story is one of quiet persistence and strategic wins. Despite complex diplomatic status and occasional identity debates, Taiwan has cultivated a passport that commands global respect. Canadian officials recognize Taiwanese visitors as low risk, despite the geopolitical clouds hovering overhead. High human development indicators, robust rule of law practices, and minimal crime rates have forged an impressive travel record. When it comes to Canada's ETA system, Taiwan shines as a prime example of how consistent, unglamorous reliability trumps flashier credentials. The Hong Kong Special Administrative Region passport continues to hold its unique prestige on Canada's updated roster. Amid shifting political landscapes, HKSAR passport holders remain emblematic of orderly travel behavior. Not all Hong Kong travel documents qualify. Only the official HKSR edition earns visa exemption, but those who carry it enjoy the same ETA convenience as fellow passport elites. Canada values Hong Kong's reputation for strong financial practices and disciplined immigration compliance. These travelers arrive, engage in academic or business pursuits, and return home without incident, reinforcing mutual trust. The United Arab Emirates has transformed itself from regional powerhouse to global mobility marvel in record time. Once perceived narrowly through the lens of oil wealth, the UAE now impresses with advanced biometric security, diversified economic portfolios, and an immigration reef devoid of overstay hazards. Canada's decision to grant DTA access reflects a rapidly evolving bilateral relationship centered on trade, investment, and shared security interests. Emirati citizens who once faced stricter protocols now sail through Canadian pre-boarding checks armed with nothing more than an electronic nod of approval. The Philippines presents a fascinating blend of behavioral merit and diaspora influence. Filipino citizens qualify for visa exemption only if they hold a prior Canadian visa or a valid US visa, yet this conditional convenience speaks volumes about trust built over generations. With nearly 1 million Filipino Canadians weaving themselves into Canada's social and economic fabric, it's no surprise Manila's credentials earned special consideration. These travelers have demonstrated low overstay rates and a robust pattern of return, showcasing how people-to-people connections can tip the scales towards streamlined mobility. Thailand's entry onto Canada's visa-free list underscores a shifting diplomatic landscape. Known primarily for sun-soaked beaches and tantalizing street cuisine, Thailand has quietly improved its global standing through economic resilience and international partnerships. Thai nationals now require only an ETA to visit Canada, a testament to their responsible travel record and growing bilateral engagement. Canadian authorities appreciate Thailand's stable return rates and its citizens' respectful approach to immigration rules, proving that even tourist-driven economies can earn long-term trust. Morocco may seem out of place on an Asian list, yet its inclusion signals Canada's broader strategy of recognizing emerging partners beyond traditional continental boundaries. Moroccan citizens now enjoy ETA access thanks to a blend of political stability, strategic crossroads positioning, and an improving track record of compliance in Canada. Students, entrepreneurs, and cultural ambassadors from Morocco have consistently returned home on schedule, reinforcing the country's reliability. Canada's embrace of Moroccan travelers illustrates that robust diplomatic ties and low-risk travel behaviors can transcend geographic assumptions. The evolution of global mobility is not linear. It's a dynamic dance of trust, data, and geopolitics. Each country on this list earned its ETA ticket through unique contributions to the global order, be it technological prowess, diplomatic finesse, or steadfast compliance. Canada's updated visa exemption roster is not a marketing gimmick. It's a living, breathing reflection of shifting alliances and proven performance. The common thread? A demonstrated commitment to reciprocal respect and risk mitigation. For travelers, these changes represent more than bureaucratic ease. They embody the power to explore new horizons, foster cross-cultural connections, and drive economic collaborations without the usual visa hurdles. Countries once relegated to cautionary footnotes are now recognized as reliable partners in Canada's global community. This shift heralds a more fluid era of travel, where merit and behavior can outweigh historical biases and outdated protocols. Yet this landscape can shift again. Tomorrow's geopolitical storms or spikes in overstay rates could reshuffle the deck, adding new nations or revoking privileges. Vigilance remains key, both for travelers and policymakers. Canada's ETA list is a living document, evolving with real-time feedback from border data, economic trends, and diplomatic developments. The passport power game is never settled, only temporarily won. As global citizens, it's vital to recognize that ease of travel isn't solely about convenience. It's a barometer of international trust. Each ETA carries with it years of quietly amassed goodwill, ironclad security measures, and collaborative trade links. The modern passport is less a travel document and more a resume of national reputation, updated with every trip, every statistic, and every diplomatic handshake. Canada's latest visa exemption update invites a broader conversation about fairness and mobility. Why should some citizens glide through immigration while others endure complex visa processes? The answers lie in metrics and strategy, not chance. Overstay rates, crime statistics, and bilateral alliances converge to produce visa policies that often favor those who have historically complied. Whether this is equitable remains debatable, but the rules of the game are clear. Follow the guidelines, build a solid track record, and watch your passport's power grow. For aspiring global travelers, these developments offer inspiration. They show that disciplined behavior and robust international engagement can unlock doors that once seemed sealed. Governments and citizens alike can learn from these 10 success stories. By prioritizing security cooperation, enhancing travel infrastructures, and fostering mutual respect, any nation can aspire to join this exclusive club. But somehow, Hong Kong keeps pulling international perks like a magician pulls doves out of a hat. One of those perks? Visa-free entry into... That's right, despite all the political chess games and global debates, Canada still allows Hong Kong passport holders to enter with just an electronic travel authorization. No embassy trips, no fingerprint scans, just a smooth digital check, and you're jet-setting off to Vancouver or Toronto before your coffee even cools. So, how does this happen? The answer lies in history and a bit of practical reasoning. Back when Hong Kong was still under British rule, it established strong institutional systems, reliable civil services, and a certain brand of global respect. Even after the handover to China, many of those systems stuck. Immigration behavior? Still clean. Visa violation rates? Still low. And Canada's policy? Still generous. And let's also not ignore that the Canadian government pays attention to travel patterns. And what do they see? A significant number of Hong Kong travelers who visit, spend money, follow the rules, and leave when they're supposed to. It's the golden combination of economic value and minimal risk, and as long as that pattern holds, Canada has no reason to tighten the tap. Meanwhile, other regions with fewer complications still struggle for that same visa-free entry. It's ironic, isn't it? Complexity doesn't always lead to exclusion. It can sometimes be the very reason a country stays on the list. Hong Kong, for all its layered identity and political balancing, has shown the world that reputations are built one action at a time, not through media noise. But if you think Hong Kong's position is complex, wait till you hear about the next one. Malaysia. Yes, the country with rainforests, skyscrapers, and cuisine that could trigger a diplomatic incident over which street vendor makes the best laksa. Malaysia. It's one of those underrated travel powerhouses. Quiet, consistent, and shockingly well-connected. Malaysian passport holders now enjoy visa-free entry to Canada through the ETA system. And it's not just because of palm oil diplomacy or tourist dollars. You see, Malaysia has built its international trust on 3 pillars: peaceful diplomacy, reliable travel behavior, and strategic cooperation. Despite being home to more than 30 million people, Malaysia has one of the cleanest immigration reputations among Asian nations. When Malaysians travel to Canada, they do so with purpose. They visit family, study, explore the Rockies, not disappear into the immigration shadows. This isn't just about avoiding overstays, it's about consistent behavior that makes immigration officers exhale instead of reaching for a red flag. Canada's bet on Malaysia is also a bet on future growth. With a growing tech sector, rising middle class, and steady education exchange programs, the relationship only gets deeper. Plus, Malaysia's ability to manage its own borders effectively signals that its citizens are less likely to break the rules abroad. That's the trust currency no embassy can stamp, only earned through results. Now, let's jump over to Thailand. Yes, the land of smiles, spicy food, and beach sunsets. Thailand's inclusion in Canada's updated visa-free list has been one of the most surprising but satisfying turns of 2025. Why surprising? Because for years Thai citizens faced a long, expensive process to visit Canada, but that tide has turned, and now, just an ETA and they're good to go. You may wonder what flipped the switch. Simple, Thailand cleaned up its Immigration Act. Over the last decade, the government implemented tougher passport controls, tighter border checks, and national campaigns about responsible tourism abroad. It paid off. Canada noticed the drop in overstay incidents and visa fraud. They saw more Thai students coming in legally, graduating, and leaving. More tourists who followed every rule, and more high CPAC travelers pumping dollars into the Canadian economy. So now, Thailand gets to skip the visa drama. It's not just a win for convenience, it's a nod of respect. It says, we see the work you've put in. Welcome to the club. But just when you thought things couldn't get any more interesting, let's talk about Brunei. Tiny country, big perks. Brunei might not shout its way into headlines, but it certainly knows how to secure international respect. It's a small Islamic sultanate on the island of Borneo, known for its wealth, low crime rates, and ultra-conservative governance. But here's the kicker. Canada allows its citizens to enter without a visa. On the surface, this might look like a diplomatic courtesy, but scratch deeper and you'll find a travel pattern that would make any immigration official smile. Bruneians rarely overstay. They have one of the lowest violation rates across Asia, and they travel mostly for business or high-end tourism. Plus, Brunei's limited population and economic stability mean they don't pose a large-scale immigration risk. Canada's reasoning? Why block the few who always follow the rules? It's smart strategic policy. Risk-based, not reactive. And here's the unexpected twist. Brunei's inclusion isn't about size or visibility. It's about consistency. Quiet, clean, dependable behavior. In a world where louder nations get more attention, Brunei is proof that good behavior speaks volumes, even in whispers. Now swing your attention over to the Philippines. Yes, the Philippines, home to millions of OFWs, world-class singers, and Jollibee. And as of 2025, they've been added to Canada's no-visa list. You heard that right. This is monumental. For decades, Filipinos have had to jump through fiery hoops to visit Canada, even with family living there. But now, just an ETA, and they're packing their bags for Toronto. So, what changed? The Filipino community in Canada, for starters. It's one of the largest, most law-abiding immigrant groups in the country. They work hard, contribute massively to the healthcare system, and generally play by the rules. That matters, because immigration policy isn't just about where someone's from, it's about what people from there have proven. Canada saw the stats. Overstays dropping, legal entries increasing, more organized travel from the Philippines and fewer irregular cases. They saw the opportunity and seized it. Also, let's not forget the strategic benefit. The Philippines has over 113 million people. Opening the doors gives Canada access to a massive pool of talent, tourists, and economic partnerships. And for Filipino citizens, it's a long overdue recognition. Their patience, resilience, and reputation finally got rewarded. Now, a simple online application stands between them and the CN Tower. And finally, we arrive at the newest kid on the visa-free block, Vietnam. Vietnam's visa exemption status with Canada shocked quite a few experts. For years, Vietnam wasn't even on the radar for a potential waiver, but 2025 changed everything. Vietnam has transformed itself from a war-scarred past into one of Southeast Asia's most promising economies. With its young population, exploding tech sector, and improving governance, it was only a matter of time before the world took notice. Canada did. And when they looked at Vietnamese travelers, they liked what they saw. Increasingly middle-class tourists, legal students, law-abiding business visitors, a rising demand for Canadian education and clean immigration records to match. What clinched it? Probably the numbers. Visa violations from Vietnam plummeted, travel increased, cooperation between governments improved, and when everything added up, Canada made the call. The result? Vietnamese citizens can now travel with just an ETA. It's more than access, it's affirmation, an acknowledgement that Vietnam's global image has matured, and Canada's immigration system trusts it enough to open the gate. So what's the big takeaway in all this? It's not just about the countries, it's about what each of them did to get here. Because Canada doesn't give out visa-free status like candy at a parade. These decisions are backed by years of data, diplomatic strategy, and trust evaluations. Immigration officials study travel patterns, check violation rates, analyze political alliances, and measure how people behave. Not just at the airport, but throughout their visit. If you're on the list, you've earned it. Through action, through discipline, and through time. And if you're not? That doesn't mean the door's closed forever. It means the bar is high and you've got some work to do. Because while geography may separate nations, behavior binds them. Canada's visa decisions remind us of something powerful. Respect is global currency. And these countries have plenty in the bank. So next time someone waves their passport with pride, remember, behind every privilege is a pattern. Behind every free pass is proof. And behind every ETA is a decision based not on hype, but on history. Like what you just learned? Surprised by the twists? Want more no-fluff travel breakdowns like this? Then hit that subscribe button, smash the like icon, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Which country do you think should be next on Canada's visa-free list? Let's debate it down there. Until next time, fly smart, stay informed, and never underestimate the power of a good passport.